Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my 36-week pregnancy update. This has been another crazy week. I apparently am going to go into false labor so many times during this pregnancy. So what I mean by that is that on Monday, which was the day before I hit 36 weeks, I went into false labor. It started about at 6:50. I was actually so uncomfortable. The baby was moving around so much and I was almost in pain from how uncomfortable he was making me. And then I started having contractions that were 2 minutes apart. I mean 2 minutes. Isn't that crazy to think 2 minutes apart? And they weren't I scaled them. They were not that intense at that time. I would say that it was just pressure. It was bad period cramps, but it wasn't that intense yet. So it continued for 30 minutes of that, and then of every 2 minutes having a contraction. And I was like, all right, we're gonna go take a walk because we've heard that either that if they're Braxton Hicks or something like that, it'll stop them, or if you're in labor, then it'll continue. So we went out for a walk, me and my husband, with Nicholas and a stroller, and walked around for a good an hour, not an hour, but it was if we left at 7:30, it was almost 8:30 when we got back, and the contractions had gotten so much worse. On a pain scale, I scaled them at a 2 to a 3 because I know that labor is so much more intense than what I was going through, but they were still painful and intense, enough that I would have to slow down my walking when I was having them, and focus, be all right, okay, it's almost over, that kind of it was enough for me to have to think about it. And so I decided that we were going to go to the hospital because I didn't know what was going on, and if I was in labor and my cervix was changing, then I definitely wanted to be in the hospital, or at least make sure that the baby was okay. So we got to the hospital probably around, I think it was 8:50, and I waited around for quite a while. I think it was 9:30 until they got me into one of their triage rooms, which it wasn't. If you guys have watched my videos before, my last preterm video, they sent me to the same room. I just didn't get in as fast because they already had 2 women ahead of me, which was fine. And by the time we got to the hospital, my contractions were 4 minutes apart, but they were still pretty intense. And they checked me and my cervix hadn't changed, so they just sent me home, which is always disheartening. By the time all that had happened, I was so upset because I just felt I was wasting everybody's time. I was wasting my time, because by the time we'd gotten there, I pretty much knew they were going to check me and I was going to be sent home. So I felt I'd wasted the drive there. I wasted my family's time by telling them I was going to the hospital, and I wasted the doctor's time by being there. Now all my family was it's no big deal, it's good that you went, and I agree that it was good that I went, but it's still slightly frustrating. I'm not upset that the baby didn't come, because I am at 36 weeks, so it's still early, so I'm okay that he stayed behind. I'm okay that he stayed in, but it's just kind of like a stalemate. I feel it was, like I said, I just felt it was a waste of time because of those reasons. So I was a little upset that, we kind of went and nothing was going on, but I'm happy that everything was fine. And so, like I said, they checked my cervix, said that they could keep me there until, they said they could keep me there for a couple of hours if I wanted to, but that it would be more comfortable at home. And if the contractions got painful, they wanted them to be from a 7 to a 10. They were we'll check you again, or come back to the hospital when they're that painful. So they wanted me to be in real labor before I came back. You're water breaking, there's blood in your urine or coming out of your vagina. And I was kind of frustrated at that because I am still preterm. So it was you want me to wait until I'm physically in labor. But I don't think I think they said they wouldn't have stopped me if I was in labor, so I don't know. Either way, it kind of frustrated me that he said that, and it might have just been because I was in a sour mood because I knew that I was going to be sent home. And so pretty much that's just what it was. He told me, the doctor that was on call, who wasn't my OBGYN, he was just kind of on call that night, and then if I would have been in labor, they would have called my OBGYN. So that's what happened. That's my second preterm labor this pregnancy. And it's not fun. It's really not fun. Like every mom's gonna get excited because they think that their baby might be coming, or you know, you might get anxiety because you're not ready and those kind of things. So I don't wish preterm labor on anybody. It's a very weird emotional roller coaster. If anybody has gone through the experience, again, you know, leave a comment, let me know what you're thinking about, or how it was for you, or if it was like the same kind of experience and how your emotions were when things were going on. I ended up having I had my 36-week appointment with my specialist on the 36th. That was my last appointment with them. The only way I'm going back is if I personally schedule an appointment. I don't have a future appointment scheduled with them. And the baby is measuring at 6.8 pounds at 36 weeks. I saw like they were measuring his head, and his head is literally measuring 2 weeks ahead. But my mother-in-law calls it the Leeka head, because Nicholas had a huge head. I think it was like 15 inches, and every one of her kids had a huge head. So here we are, and I can't compare. I've mentioned this in other videos either, that I can't compare any of my vitals or my sister's vitals to my kids or any future kids, because we were both born early. So who knows how big I would have been if I would have been born on time. It's not a big deal, but I can't compare it. Anyway, so he's measuring ahead of the game again. So they think that he's not going to be as big as Nicholas was. So that's, I mean, good. I mean, it'll be good for me, especially if I make it through natural birth again. It'll make it probably a lot easier. And they told me that if I make it to 39 weeks, that's when they'll schedule my induction, or talk to me about being scheduled for an induction if I make it to 39 weeks. So if I'm still pregnant, if I'm still pregnant 3 weeks from now, then I'll probably updating you guys with when I'm going into labor, because that'll be my 39-week update. But as of right now, I don't have like a date. I thought for some reason that I would do that today with them, because that was my last appointment, but it makes sense. Like, why would they schedule it now when I could possibly go into labor at any time, and there's no real rush. So that's where we're at with when I'm having the baby and everything like that. Symptom-wise, after going through that preterm labor experience, I'm so sore. My like abdominal muscles and like my legs and my like uterus were like so sore for like the whole day, and I was having on and off like painful contractions throughout the whole day that were not being able to be timed. And I'm still having contractions, but they're not as intense, but they're a little bit worse than like a Braxton Hicks would be. So that's where I'm at. It's so frustrating. It really is. Like, I'm like, if you're gonna give me contractions, let's just go into labor. Like, let's get this party started, because it's frustrating to have like painful contractions and know that nothing is happening. Absolutely nothing is happening. So they checked me when I went into the hospital, and they said I was only like a fingertip. That's like how much my cervix had dilated, and that's how much I was the last time I went into the hospital for preterm labor. So it's like all of that for literally nothing. So those are my feelings on preterm labor. Pretty frustrating. Happy the baby's safe, of course, but still frustrating. So that's my 36-week update. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys my bump. So this is my bump. I think I've dropped a little bit, but I'm definitely my stretch marks are starting to come out. So I definitely learned that if you have stretch marks from your first pregnancy or on your stomach in general, if you get them again, it's mostly from your stretch marks literally stretching again. So that's like kind of what's happening to me, where they're not like new stretch marks, but it's my stretch marks stretching. I don't like it, but that's mom life. Let's just chalk it up on the chalkboard of mom life. So here we are. Like I said, guys, that's my 36-week pregnancy update. Have any comments or questions, leave them down below. And if you like this video, then like. And if you want to see any of my future content coming up, go ahead and subscribe. Have a great day.